there was so much stuff that there were 2 pieces of paper. And I would periodically go through the booths and, because they would say, well, I don't want that. I said,
Right.
no. Y'all don't understand how this works. There's a set number of ballots, you sign in, I gotta match that many ballots in that thing. Otherwise, they'll think I'm screwing with people.
Right.
So they would take it, then they'd leave it in the booth.
It's 10 o'clock. I'm gonna call this
Oh. Sorry.
special Board of Equalization meeting to order. This Wednesday, March 22nd. Call the roll. Brett Town.
Here.
And Eleanor Thompson.
Present.
And I'm here. Okay. We've got first thing on the agenda, discussion and possible action regarding approval of the minutes of March 13th and March 14th. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve the minutes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that passes. We have 2 properties before the board today. The third one, BOE number 44, had to push it off and reschedule it for health reasons. So the first one is BOE number 19, which is 200 South Oklahoma Avenue, apartment 305, Cheryl Hoffner, hope I said that right, Living Trust.
Very good, you did.
All right, well, we'll hear from you first, if you'd like to come up here.
I'm her husband.
Oh.
I'm gonna let him speak.
Pretty much says everything, doesn't it?
What was your name?
I'm Steve Hoffner.
Okay. Have you been before the board before?
Never have.
Okay. We're pretty informal here,
Okay.
but we have to follow the statutes.
Sure.
So, we will hear from you first, then we'll hear from the assessor, and then you'll have an opportunity to respond to what the assessor says.
Okay.
So you get the last word.
Last word.
We will decide these cases Friday, and a letter will go out telling you what we've decided, and you'll probably get it Saturday or Monday.
Fair enough.
Okay?
Great.
All right. Tell us what you want us to know about your property at 200 South Oklahoma, apartment 305.
Thank you very much for hearing from us. We appreciate the opportunity to make a very short presentation. We live in the Centennial Loft, which is a kind of a unique building. It's on the canal over there in Bricktown. And so from a comp standpoint, I believe the assessor would even agree that comps are probably more to do with that building than they are anything surrounding that area. In fact, the details and the information that we got back from the assessor's office deals with that building in particular. The units over there, there's 30 total units, and they vary in size from about 1,000 square feet up to maybe 1,800 square feet. Ours falls right in the middle. It's 1,459 square feet. What we're asking for is a valuation on our property from a tax standpoint, $514,222, which is $352.45 a square foot, and I'll show you where I've got that. I don't know, I assume you have all the information that we submitted with.
Yes, we've got everything that was submitted at the informal.
Okay.
I will tell you at the get-go, we don't have anything to do with the taxable value. So the taxes is out of our bailiwick. The only thing we are charged with doing is finding out or deciding what we believe to be the market value, what a willing buyer would give a willing seller or willing seller and come to an agreement.
Yeah, and I assume the taxes are based on that fair value, right?
Like I said, we don't have anything to do with taxes. As soon as you mention taxes, we all get freaked out.
Because not necessarily.
Yeah.
Are the taxes based on the tax? There's a taxable amount and there's a market amount, and usually there's a gap in between those two,
Right.
as you see on when you get your tax.
Okay.
So
I'll just address it as market value.
Right.
Yes,
Okay, very
there
good.
we go. Then we don't have to say hold it.
There we go. Okay, I'm sorry about the nomenclature on that. So, what we're looking and suggesting is that the value is $352.45 a square foot, which is about $514,000. If you look at the information that we submitted, the 6-year average for that condo unit falls at $352.45 a square foot. If you take just last year's comparable values of what the unit sold for, it's $353.78 a square foot, which would be a market value of $516,000 approximately for our unit. And I can go back over any of these numbers if you'd like to. The true value of a unit, and this is probably in the form of just more of a statement and maybe a question. It seems to us like you pay a real estate commission on top of whatever you sell it for, so we're wondering if the market value isn't actually less than what the units sell for, so I'll just throw that out there. If you look at the assessor's information in the package, they show that the 2022 average is the $353.78 on the actual sales of the unit, complete with everything in it. And but then when they value our unit, they're showing a 10 to 17% increase in those values to arrive at the amount for our particular unit. And I'm not sure where the 10 to 17% increase comes from, since it's an actual value of what people were willing to sell for and what people were willing to buy. The 6-year trend in the information I sent to you is showing a decrease of about 3% over that 6-year period. And so the value of the units, we believe, is actually trending down and not rising. And at a minimum, we don't believe that our values should go up, and we're asking for a lowering to, like I said, the $514,222.
Let me ask you something, on this data that you presented,
Correct.
and I want to show you. There's a lot of the information has been blacked out. Did you do that?
I did not.
So it looks like that was actually a scanner error. It looks like he highlighted those. I've got the hard copy that he sent.
Okay,
Yeah, and I've actually got
There you
copies
go.
of the unit.
all right,
There you
I
go.
just found
You
that
pass
kind of.
that.
Yeah, it's kind of
Off
odd,
the
isn't it?
You're gonna give me the information, but you're gonna black it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I see that, that's a scanner deal, all
And
right.
You can see the sales price up there, and if you go across, that's the $353.78, which I actually calculated, shown on this, but I showed that in some of the documentation too, on the actual sales price.
Okay. Anything else you wanna tell us right now?
No, thank you.
All right, we'll hear from the
I have a
assessor.
clarification question before you.
Oh,
Okay, in your, in 22, you say 3 units sold for an average of $353.78 a square foot.
Correct.
And in 24 units sold for an average. Okay, so the first thing you said was the square footage ranges from 1,000 to 1,800. So when you did that average, did you blend
Yes.
irrespective of the square footage?
No, I use the actual square footage of each unit and then average
Ah.
the total square footage,
Okay,
which I believe is what they
Okay.
do as well. Yeah.
that's good.
No questions.
My turn.
Mhm.
Okay.
okay, Steve.
So guys, last year's value was 527, and we increased it this year to 684.5.
Right.
They came in for hearing or sent their information during the telephone appeal, and we agreed. They were asking, I believe what they're asking now, 514,222. We did lower it 140,000 to 544,940. Just not quite all the way to what they're asking, which I think is a substantial decrease. In theory, I guess you can take 6 years worth of sales, but they have to be weighted some way. I mean, I think you take, we would never do that, but in theory you could. You would obviously have to weight the most recent ones more than the ones that sold in 2016 or 17 or whatever. I will address, the assessor's office never gets the actual sale price. We're just notified of the dock stamps, and there's a formula, for every $1,000, it's $1.50 per dock stamp. So we just know how many dock stamps were filed. So we don't know the actual sale price. Also, we don't know the actual realtor commission fees. Now, usually it's 6%, but that's not necessarily the case. It could be 5%, it could be 3%, it could be a lot of different things. But that's the reason. That's one of the reasons why we don't take out realtor commission fees and all that. And also, in a sheriff's deed, there's no realtor fees. In auctions, there's no realtor fees. So there's a lot more data that would have to be calculated. I will say that out of the 3 comps that were used, the median value is 556, which we lowered it beneath the median to 544,940. So I think the 514,222 asking price is too low, and I think our current value at 544,940 is good.
Yeah, what is it? I've got 542,810. Am I wrong?
Let's see. So our current market value is 544,940. The taxable value is 542,810.
Wrong column.
That's where
Okay.
that came from.
Yeah,
Okay. So it's actually
544,940.
Okay.
Yep. That's all I have.
Do you agree with the way he averaged?
I didn't look at that, but I mean, you can't just, take the average. I mean, I would assume that the lower square footage condos would sell for more than the higher square footage condos. That's the way it happens usually. I didn't look at that information.
Is that true? Do they sell for less?
We haven't found that to be the case, no. We've actually, the lower the square footage seems like the cheaper they're selling. They're a little more difficult to sell because people want a little more space.
Is it the living area size, kitchen area size, or is it the number of bedrooms that's bringing in the difference in the square footage?
Excellent question. The way that the building is constructed, out of 30 units, there are 4 times 3, there's only 12 units that have 2 bedrooms in them. All the rest of them are single bedrooms. And so the lower square footage, ours is a single bedroom as well. And so the lower square footage generally goes from 1,000 up to 1,500 square feet for single bedrooms, and then it jumps when you get to the 2 bedrooms.
Okay. Do you live there?
We do.
3-story garage, main living, and then bedrooms on the 3rd story.
The way the building is constructed, the bottom floor, first floor, ground floor is all retail.
Okay, retail.
Then 3 floors
Okay.
above that, and there's a parking garage underneath.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
You better keep your wife.
Don't be looking at her that way. She actually enjoys
She's
it.
in a 1-bedroom.
Oh, yeah. Well,
That's
okay.
the kicker,
When the grandkids come over, that's a bit of an issue, I will admit.
especially when he snores.
Okay. Anything else, Steve?
No, we don't have a picture of the individual condos, but that's the latest picture of the building. And it's right there. It's right there in downtown area, Freetown.
Each
It's
of the
where.
corners are the 2 bedrooms.
Okay.
Four
Each of
corners.
the 4, the 4.
Those are the 2-bedroom condos.
So you guys are in the middle.
We're in the middle.
And it's where Starbucks is. Starbucks is on the
Yeah.
end there.
I go past there every day going home. Yeah.
So you just go downstairs.
So Steve, what do you think the difference in your valuation at this point and his is?
I think the biggest
Theirs is.
difference is the time adjustment, as what he alluded to and what was blacked out on yours, the classified information that was blacked out. We have to come up with a value as of January 1st, and those sales did not happen on January 1st, so we have to time trim those up. And that's the difference, in my opinion, between the $30,000 or whatever it is, what he's asking and what our current value is.
Okay.
So,
That's about $20,000.
20,000? Okay.
Tom, yes.
Anything else?
No,
No,
it's
sir.
30. You're still stuck on that tax. 14 and 30 is,
It's basically 30.
Yeah, our current value again is 544,940, and I believe he's asking 514,222.
That's what I showed, is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
okay,
All right,
all right.
anything else? All right, Mr. Hoffner, response?
My only response would be I think to sum it up, the difference is they're asking for a percentage increase where we believe it's at least staying the same, if not dropping. And I think that's kind of the crux of the issue, the values.
What's the age of that building?
It was began occupation in 2008. So it is, whatever, 15 years old. Started to have the good old maintenance problems.
Well, our chore is to set the market value as of January 1st of this year.
Understand?
And I recognize that suddenly the property value explosion is apparently over. But we have to look at January 1st value.
Right.
January 1st of next year, we can take into consideration that sort of thing. But
When did you buy this?
We've approximately 3 years ago,
For?
we rented a 527. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the 527. If
That's the-
on one of the charts, it actually shows our unit sale at 527.
that was in 2020,
I believe that's correct. Yeah.
2020.
Yeah, I can look it up to be absolutely sure.
Well, yeah, we just want to be close.
Yeah, 6 of 20, June of 20.
Okay, anything else you'd like to tell us?
No, I just appreciate the opportunity to visit with you.
Well, like I said, we'll have a letter going out
Right.
Friday,
Okay,
and we appreciate the good presentation.
thank you.
The blackout thing comes through.
I'm innocent on that one. And I have no classified documents either.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, we're gonna close the hearing on BOE
19.
19. Open up the hearing on BOE 20, which is the property at 6220 Northwest 163rd Place in Edmond. Robert Venegas and Carolyn Brower.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not gonna be as good as he is,
Uh,
or he was. I'd just like to, our property has gone up every year for the last, since we moved in 2020. The taxes have gone up, so I guess the value has gone up, but from everything that I can see, the value has dropped because of the high interest rates and everything that I find, values have dropped, So, I'm just wondering if somebody can do something about the taxes, because now you wanna raise them again this year, from like 430 to 484, so, almost 500,000, so.
Is she in the Edmond School District?
She's in Deer Creek.
You're in Deer Creek. Okay, you can have a house never change value, but have your taxes go up if you've got bond issues. Like, we're sitting here in Oklahoma City, there was a bond issue for the jail.
Yeah.
Then Oklahoma City Public Schools passed a bond issue. So it almost gets to be a little irrelevant what your value was, your
really?
taxes may go up. So yeah, people think that there's an automatic or proportional raise of taxes when the value increases. And that is not necessarily so, not necessarily so. Because if you look at your statement, there's two values. There's the value and then there's the taxable value. You could have a senior freeze, there's all kinds of things that,
Exemption.
Hmm.
Homestead
And
exemption.
homestead
I have the
exemption
homestead
and all of that. So
exemption.
it is not a given that the increase in the market value will result in an increase in your taxes next
But you are right, valuations have been going up. That's why there's the difference in market and taxable. Your market, since it's residential, can only increase, your taxable can only increase 3% each year, although the valuation of your home, which might increase 5, 17, 20% a year, but your taxes can only increase at 3% on residential.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, there's a gap. Now, as it comes down, it can come down as fast as it wants to, but it can never go up more than 3% a year.
Well, evidently it's been going up 3% a
Yeah.
year. ever
And,
since
and
we
I know,
moved in.
and I know Deer Creek they are fully maxed out on their valuation. They're at 35 mils. Oklahoma City has gone from about 18, 19 mils to, I'm not sure, close to 30 now.
Yep, it's high.
So they're gonna have a big increase, and then, so it's the taxes we can't help you with, because that's set by somebody else, but your valuations are what will be
Yeah,
the judgment
and-
on.
And our house is the smallest house on our street, the least amount of square footage. Everybody else has got, bigger homes, and
Do you know what your square footage is?
yes, it's 2413.
What's the taxable on the house right now?
Let's see. 430,725 is the taxable value.
So your house is very close. A lot of people's aren't very close. I can just use mine as an example. There's probably $150,000 difference in my taxable and my market right now, because it's just gone up so quick in what I could sell it for versus what the taxes are. But you're very close. I would say if we start seeing any reduction, and I'm going to say this, you would probably be one of the first to go down, because you're so close in the difference. There's very rare that this happens this close in my experience. Is that something you don't see that very often, do you? That the market and the taxable are that close?
Hard to say. I mean, up until these last couple of years, they've been a lot closer.
Yeah.
I mean, the market has jumped up considerably in the vast majority of the county, when, a lot of the taxable values are limited to 3% or 5%. Some of them are, frozen. Some of them are, DAV exempt. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I'll remind you, we don't have anything to do with the
I
tax.
know.
We're just,
Okay.
we just
So
look
the
at the market.
value is at 431?
Well, that's what you're asking for, and I was wrong when I said that. The difference is about $54,000 right
Right,
now if
right.
this new assessor's
Right.
evaluation is approved.
Right.
How many miles north of Memorial Road are you? Which is
2, I think.
2,
You're on
yeah.
163rd.
We're off 164th
Yep.
between MacArthur and Rockwell.
Rockwell.
Are you in Oklahoma City or unincorporated?
We're right on the right side, on the south side of the road, and the north side is unincorporated.
Okay, so you're hit with Oklahoma City taxes
Yes.
as well as everybody
Yes.
else. Okay. And Oklahoma City has like a 5 or 8 mil road improvement that they've just improved. That's why all those roads have been done in that area over the last 10 years. Without it, they couldn't afford to do it.
164th hasn't been, so.
Well, it depends
they
on where
just
you're
did
at.
MacArthur,
Yeah.
but-
Yeah. Yeah, there's still a lot of improvements to be made. There's no doubt about it.
I don't show the address at 164th, I show it on 163rd Place.
Yeah, but
Right.
the mile section.
Right,
Okay.
but the road, the 164th, that road, the south side is in Edmond, the north side's unincorporated.
Okay.
So, and our road comes off of 164th.
164th is the main access.
Right,
Okay.
and we only have one little street, you know, and it comes off 164th, it's called Brookville Drive, and then when it turns a corner, it's 163rd place. It's the same street, but,
Yeah.
So here's the aerial of it. Don't pay attention to this blue arrow.
okay,
Right here
Right there,
is her
yeah.
property.
Right.
And this is 164th
Right.
and MacArthur. So she's just in this little neighborhood.
that little neighborhood right there, there's only 29 lots.
Yep.
Okay.
And we're the smallest house on the street, I mean, on the whole street.
How many square feet are you?
2413.
Okay, anything else?
Well, no, you know, prices are falling, but you said January 1st is,
We had an
That's what you-
explosion last year and
The year before.
so
This
then
year's
next year
different.
I can come and say, hey,
it-
the value has gone way down because.
Depends upon what they say.
Oh,
Cause you'll
okay.
get another statement that'll get mailed to you after January 1. These statements that come to you come yearly.
Uh-huh. Okay.
But Carolyn, you can come see us anytime you want.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah, we're happy to have you whenever. All right, you're asking 431,000.
Yes,
The assessor's at 484. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, want to make sure my numbers are right, 'cause
We're kind of all over the place.
yeah, I've been
Yeah.
all over the place here.
Yeah.
You know, had that redacted data.
No classified info on this one.
no,
Okay.
no. There is no classified, no.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's about it. I mean, if it stays at 431, you know, it's still almost 180 a square foot, which is,
Okay. Assessor?
A lot of, since we do have to value everything as of January 1st, a lot of the comps that Carolyn sent us were active listings, you know, as of, I believe February 23rd, when the realtor ran the MLS data. A lot of them were 23 sales. Obviously, we can't use those. We did find several comps. I think we have 2 sets of comps that you guys should have. The first set of comps, the median value was 505, and the second set of comps, the median value was 497. So it's our current market value at 484 is considerably less than that. But really, that's all I have. We just we defended the original value based on the comps that we used during the informal appeal.
And it appears 4 of the 6 of these are actually in her neighborhood, or
Yep.
or close to it. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
and most of the houses in our neighborhood have been built after ours was built.
Mhm.
You know, we were like the
Right.
second or third lot,
Right.
you know, and they've all been built, you know, since our place has been
Right.
built, and so labor and material as well.
Right. Based on the sales prices, their formula does a time adjustment and it does a space adjustment. So you'll see on these comps that there's negatives to bring it down to where it's comparable, as close as it can be equivalent to yours, to your situation. So if you have one that's 3,000 and one that's 2,500, there's an adjustment. There's an age adjustment as well. So all of that's in there, lot adjustment, sizes. So they're trying to make it as equal as they can when you present like this.
And now, like next year, when things go down, which they will because of the interest rates, can I come back in and
Anytime.
do this
Absolutely.
again?
Sure.
Come see me anytime.
Yeah.
And it'll be
Okay.
based on what they send you next year. That piece of paper you got this year where they said your property was valued at 484, there's gonna be a different piece of paper to come
Okay,
with a different valuation on it.
okay.
And they can either leave it the same, raise it, or lower it. That would be your protest point, the piece of paper you get next year.
Okay, so, but they can only raise it 3%,
Yeah,
right?
Yes.
but they can lower
The
it,
taxes,
whatever.
only the taxes can be raised 3%, not the valuation of
Oh,
the
but
property.
right, okay,
Right.
yeah.
Well, I gotta remind you, we
I
don't
know,
spend
I know,
taxes.
no tax. Okay,
Okay.
All right.
okay, very good.
Thank you for
very
coming in.
much.
Thank you. Good presentation.
You guys have a wonderful day.
Well, thank you. You too.
And then,
So you're closing,
Okay. I'm gonna close the hearing on BOE number 20. That appears to be the last piece of property we have on the agenda. Any comments from the board? From citizens that are all walking out?
So we do have a couple requests for the board. So we're dealing with one guy. His name is Grant Beatles, and he has
Name is what?
he's Grant Beatles. His last name is
Okay.
Beatles. He's been interesting to work with. His hearing is currently set for next Thursday, which is the 30th. I don't believe I've sent the agenda out for that one. He specifically requested if all three of the members could be here. I told him we of course have no guarantee of that, but 2 is a quorum. He believes it is relevant to his case that all 3 are here. Don't know. So wanted to confirm
Okay.
if all 3 plan to be here on the 30th.
I don't recognize this guy's name.
yes, yes, the answer is yes, I think.
Okay.
Now, what
I
is our,
plan to be here.
at this moment, what are our scheduled dates?
So yeah, so we will have this Friday, which is the 24th. That'll be decision day. Next Monday, the 27th. More properties. I believe we have 3 right now on the 27th. We'll also have that Thursday, which is the 30th, where I believe we also have 3, and then 31st next Friday, decision day.
Okay.
In addition to that, we had a guy who I'll have to ask you about this, Steve. His name I don't remember. He claims that he sent in his form to the assessor and that it was the wrong form. So the assessor sent him the blank form to fill out. All in all, he's past his deadline. He is. But he claims that the assessor kind of
Slow walk sending him the correct form.
yeah, now, the assessor's not obligated to send him the form, neither are we, it's a publicly available form. But it sounds like, Steve, I was talking to y'all the other day, it sounds like y'all haven't actually received anything from him. So it sounds like he may have just sent it to the wrong office entirely. All in all, he's past his deadline, so we wanted to see if y'all wanted to know.
What
We
if he
don't
sent
have
it to Butch?
jurisdiction unless he's.
That's
properly
possible,
filed.
and that's the thing.
People get hung up on taxes and he
Uh-huh.
might have sent it to Butch.
And that's possible. Okay. Well, if you don't want to hear him because he's past his date, then yeah.
It's really not a question of what I want to do.
Yeah.
It's what I'm statutorily required to do, and he is, we don't have jurisdiction if he has not properly filed.
Okay.
Right.
And that's what I figured. Just wanted to check with y'all to be sure. So I will let him know that, and then he can try again next year, I guess.
There you go.
Do you know where the Beatles man's property is?
Let me think about this.
BEAD?
I do
Yeah,
not.
BEADLES.
I do not remember off the top of my head.
That's all right.
It's Sawgrass and Edmond.
I presume.
Another one of those Edmund people.
He's not. No.
Is that why you guys put me on here?
But yeah, that's all we got. So you can adjourn whenever you're ready.
All right, I move to adjourn. Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Trying to figure out.